The Trump administration is signaling a possible shift in its immigration enforcement operations in Minneapolis after weeks of protests, growing political pressure, and the fatal shooting of 2 American protesters by ICE agents. White House border czar Tom Homan said on Thursday that some federal agents could eventually be withdrawn from the city, which many see as a U-turn in Trump's immigration crackdown.
This is common sense cooperation that allows us to draw down on the number of people we have here. Yes, I said it. Draw down the number of people here. Because we have the efficiency and safety of the jails and the prison. Matter of fact, I have staff from CBP and from ICE working on a drawdown plan.
Homan stressed that the administration is not abandoning its mission. Instead, he said, operations would become more targeted and more coordinated with local authorities.
You have your First Amendment rights, and I support that. You have the right to protest. I'm just asking you to keep it peaceful. But threatening law enforcement officers, engaging in impeding and obstruction and assault is never okay. And there will be zero tolerance. You interfere, impede, assault an ICE officers, you will be arrested.
Despite Tom Homan's comments, Trump later said his administration is not pulling back from Minnesota. He added that the deployment is necessary to keep the country safe.
Will you be pulling back immigration enforcement agents out of Minnesota?
We want to keep our country safe. We'll do whatever we can to keep our country safe.
So not pulling back?
No, not at all.
While referring to recently released video footage showing Alex Pretty shouting and spitting at a federal immigration officer, Trump called him an agitator and perhaps insurrectionist. Alex Pretty was fatally shot by ICE agents on January 24, and the issue about his shooting is now spilling into Congress, where Democrats are threatening to block government funding. They are demanding limits to be placed on immigration enforcement operations. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has also stepped in, urging residents to support local businesses that have been hit hard by the federal presence, particularly in immigrant neighborhoods. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey has strongly criticized the federal presence, comparing it to an invasion and saying constitutional rights are being violated. Frey alleged that people have been detained based on how they look or where they appear to be from, including Somali, Latino, and Southeast Asian communities.
What's become clear to me is this is obviously not about safety. This is not even about immigration. This is about silencing a narrative or a political position that differs from that of a federal administration. We've seen this kind of conduct in other countries. We cannot see it right here in America. This is not a Democratic or a Republican issue. Never once have I made this partisan. This is a foundational principle of making sure that the endurance of our republic can continue on.
Back in Minneapolis, many remain deeply skeptical that ICE and other federal agents will change their approach given the current policy direction and brutal crackdown.
There is a sense that he's a bit more moderating in his views, which is a good sign. But will he carry it through? Will ICE actually stop behaving the way that they have? It is very, very doubtful that they will, given the circumstances that are taking place in the wider context of the policies that are being pursued by the Trump administration to exploit the immigration issues in this country.
Now, the 2 agents involved in Alex Pretty's killing have been placed on leave. And Homan said any federal officers found to have violated standards of conduct will be held accountable. Meanwhile, fear of immigration raids is driving some communities in Minnesota to create their own emergency support systems. In the Twin Cities, members of the Somali American community have organized a grassroots network to provide medical care through house calls for people too afraid to leave their homes. In Minnesota, a federal judge has temporarily blocked the Trump administration from detaining refugees who are waiting to receive permanent resident status. The order requires the immediate release of any refugees currently held in custody. Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller criticized the judge on social media, calling it quote-unquote judicial sabotage of democracy. Immigration has always sat at the heart of Trump's politics. However, many claim these latest developments might force him to back down. Will this be a true shift or just a temporary pivot? That remains to be seen.
The world doesn't fit in boxes, so why should your news? From battlefields to negotiation tables, from internet outrage to real-world injustice. The conversations everyone is having and the ones they're avoiding. It's the same show, but this new year, Firstpost America gets a new look. I'm Kerry Johnston, and this is Firstpost America.